joining me again on this really great rainy afternoon.
Lovely.
Appreciate your time. I know. We're taking kind of the next step in our coaching or my coaching class where we're learning. And so we're going to take what we discussed last time about what you wanted to see in your class and build
Right.
upon it.
Okay.
So I know where we kind of left it is that you wanted to use questioning more effectively. Specifically, you wanted your students to gain confidence. You still wanted to see that engagement. You wanted to increase that engagement, but when they were engaged and when they were responding to you as a result of your ESOL students, your EIP students, you wanted them to gain in confidence there.
Yes, absolutely.
So I did find a checklist about using questions effectively with your students.
Okay.
Obviously, the first step in the checklist is to ask questions of all your students.
Right.
The next step would be to use, repeat, rephrase, reduce, and reach out. Now, my understanding, obviously restating the question, giving them that think time, right? And repeating the same question as many times as you feel it necessary. But sometimes
to kind of provide that think time.
Exactly. Right. So you would say it, wait just a few seconds, restate it again. Yes, repeat it. Right.
Yeah.
And then, if necessary, rephrase it in a way that would maybe make it seem less.
Ask the same question, but just kind of in a different way.
Correct.
So if they're not understanding that question, give them the same question, just rephrased.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then reduce it, I guess, maybe draw it back to the point where if you did ask the question, maybe, okay, now think about this. Where do you think we could draw this from? Is there something that we could look at to help us kind of?
Like, what do we already know? Like,
Yes.
building off of
Right.
background
And I
knowledge.
know that you have, anchor charts.
Resources.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So reaching
What do
out,
we have in the room
that can help you? Yes, absolutely. So even drawing their attention to that.
Yeah.
And another big one here, especially with us, we talk a lot about the growth mindset, about how, especially being a STEM school here, about how we have to try it. And if we fail, that's okay. We want to keep trying again. We want to improve. We want to find ways to improve. So one of the ones on this checklist is also celebrate those mistakes. Yeah. Even saying, you know what, I understand why you think that, but where else could we go with this? Or that's not quite correct, but I understand why you would think that. Is there a way that can somebody else help this way?
Can we kind of go a little bit more forward with that?
Right.
Yeah, I really like that because I think that's sometimes why some, especially like my ESOL students, are afraid to speak up because they're afraid to not have the vocabulary or not be able to explain themselves.
Right.
So just understanding like, hey, that's okay. Like, you have a good answer.
Yes.
We're just going to build on it.
Absolutely. Right. So, and sometimes it really is just about being comfortable taking risks.
Right.
It's not going to be right all the time, but just being comfortable enough, confident enough to take that risk sometimes is what they need.
Right.
Avoid giving away the answers. I think for us, this is so difficult because we want to make sure that they know the right answer.
Right.
So oftentimes we jump on it and we're like, well, remember when we discussed, and you kind of provide.
Right. And you say yes. And you give them everything.
But we want to try to avoid giving away the answers and then providing sufficient wait time. I know that this can be, again, very hard because we have that list of non-negotiables, right? We have exactly 12 minutes.
Exactly.
So I know that can be difficult, but, provide that. And if you don't get to every single thing, but they get the learning objective.
Right. Then it's still okay. Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
So we have this checklist, or I found this checklist about effective questioning. Is there anything that you would want to add to or take away from? Maybe you don't think.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the repeat and rephrase because I think, and I was telling you earlier, like I've been trying to kind of like start incorporating this, and that was something that, we were trying to think of those higher level questions, and and I gave them a lot of time. I said, okay, we're just going to take a minute to think about it.
Mhm.
And so I did notice myself repeating the question. So I definitely want to keep that in there because I think that's something that I need to be conscious of
Right.
to try and do. The only other thing that I thought of was that we could add would be like the sentence stems, or just encouraging
Sure,
like complete
sure.
sentences, or like the yes, I'm good to
The
share my
total
answer.
participation
Yeah, or like, or
techniques.
I agree with you that we are starting to use.
Good. No, I think that's great. Okay, so you want to actually
Like
on your
encourage.
checklist encourage complete sentences or
Yeah.
encourage rap strategy or
Yeah. I think that's great.
Okay.
Instead of saying, like, I know the question that I was asking them today is, we were talking about fiction, nonfiction. I said, okay, could this happen in real life? And I told them, I said, don't just say yes. Don't just say no. Like, you were going to say, I think it could because, I think it could not because,
Right.
you know, and like really focusing on that.
Okay.
But that's definitely something that like I kind of have to. It's an you know, I don't want to say, I don't know how to explain. Like, I don't want to say it's like a conscious effort, but I definitely have to be thinking about that. And I think it would be good to have that on the checklist to remind myself that like,
Okay.
this is what we're working on.
Encourage and again I shortened it to rap because that's
Yeah.
Do you have a rap poster or restate? Okay, so
But that would be good.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Let me I'm gonna make a note to get you a rap poster.
That was one of those beginning of the year things that just.
I think I've had mine for so long. So then working with this, there are a couple of different choices here for us.
Okay.
I've already come and observed you once, and this is, of course, where we got
Mhm.
our goal.
Yeah.
But so when we're looking at this strategy, there are several other options for us, modeling wise.
Okay.
I can come in and observe you again.
Mhm.
You can come in and observe me
Okay.
in my classroom.
Yeah.
I could come into your classroom and we could almost do a co-teaching.
Okay.
All right. And
So like half and half, kind of like half you're observing me, but then I also get to.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So it would be since we plan together, obviously that helps a lot.
Right.
But if we wanted to do the co-teaching model, I would really be there to aid, maybe insert kind of model in your classroom how I do it in my classroom.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And of course, we could video if that time isn't convenient. I know you have a lot of demands on your time with other people coming in to observe you and everything. So however it's going to work best for you.
Yeah. I mean, I really think I feel like I would really benefit from either coming to watch you.
Oh, sure. Yes.
Or doing the co-teaching.
Okay.
I mean, not that I can't benefit from you coming into me, but since you've already kind of done that, maybe we can just do something.
Sure, absolutely. And I would love to have you come in and observe. And if for no other reason, just to kind of take some of the pressure back off you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, I know you have a lot of people.
Well, and to be able to see kind of like what you, and I think too, like to see what you do in my classroom with my kids, like to see like how that would, I don't know.
So you want to find a time that works for us to co-teach?
I think that would be great if that works for you.
Absolutely. Okay. So we will, I know next week we have off day. It's kind of hectic. Crazy, so we want to try for the following week.
Yeah.
Okay. And
because next week's the short week, so the week after that, that would be good.
Okay, and we want to kind of go for the same time as far as during the morning. Is that a little bit more flexible? So from like 8 to 8:20? Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right, and then we'll come to you and we'll work on kind of our total participation confidence idea, right, with our checklist, our effective questioning checklist. And we want to see those students responding in complete sentences with more confidence so that we know that they are engaged.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know that you've already started kind of practicing some of your total participation techniques that we've already discussed, where they're familiar with the I have an answer.
I'm ready to share. I
agree with you.
That's kind of what we've been using so far.
Right. So. And again, they're already familiar with that. So I think that's a really great idea for you to build on what they already know, what they already use.
Right.
We're just bringing it into other subjects.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? Any other concerns?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.